I don't think she's wrong for airing what is dirty laundry, because honestly, it should be spoken about. The person who is expected to be silent, the person who is supposed to abide and continue to give power to a certain system, there is so much power when that person says no. Hey y'all, it's me Nina, back with another video for this week, and if you're new to this channel, this is a place for you to think critically about culture and Christian media. I have a ton of playlists about Indian culture, Christian culture, the culture of the world as a whole, so check that out, share your comments. And today we're going to be talking about the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry interview with Oprah that everyone and their mother has been talking about and sharing and whatnot, and my thoughts on it as a Christian, as a person who is a minority. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments down below, because to be honest, I feel very divided, and sometimes I'm like, I am for Meghan, other times I'm like, should she have said that? I don't know. So let's go through a couple of different points, and I will be pointing to other responses as well, so I'll link those down in the description if you want to delve in deeper. And yes, please engage with me, let me know what you think and whatnot. So the first point I want to make is why it's easy to deny, or why it is easier to deny and the danger of that. So when Ben Shapiro made a response to what happened, he had a bit of a condescending tone, to be honest.
How dark is your son's skin going to be? I'm just gonna say it, I don't believe that happened.
And if you're not familiar with Ben Shapiro, he reacts a lot to culture and Christian media, and he is very conservative in his views. His sister has a channel as well. I think her name is Abby Shapiro. And one of the main things he says is that Meghan Markle was lying essentially about the claim made about her son's skin tone. And if you're not familiar what happened, one of the things that Meghan Markle, the former Duchess, I think that's the right term to use, she mentioned how in the royal household, when she was going to have her son, a major concern was what skin color her son would have when he was born. And if you're not familiar with Meghan Markle, she is married to Prince Harry and she's biracial. She's half white, half black. And her husband is completely white. And what Ben Shapiro said was, this just didn't happen. Like, well, I don't believe this happened. Like, who would say that? And it's dumb and blah, blah, blah. And I see why he thinks it's dumb, and I see why he thinks it doesn't happen. But his tone was extremely patronizing. And to his comment, I would just say, have you ever been to a Desi household? Have you ever been to a brown household? Because that is a legitimate concern for many people of color, because there is inherent privilege when you are able to pass or look a certain way. And even within brown culture, if you look lighter, there are ways in which you are treated better than somebody who is darker. And I have an entire video on that, so go check that out if you're interested in what dark skinned people never told you. And I think that Ben Shapiro knew that if he were to say this is okay, it would never be okay, you know? He kind of picks and chooses what he believes Meghan Markle is lying about or not lying about. And I think he knows, if I say the overt racism is not okay, then my audience won't be cool with that. But if I deny, if I gaslight, if I say, no, this didn't happen, what are you talking about? Then he can make an argument. He could say, where is the source? Who said this? Whatnot. And it's basically diminishing her words. And it is, her word against theirs. And even, I believe in a report that was made by the actual, what is it called? Monarchy. They said that their accounts of what happened may vary, which is, and we don't really know. It's literally her word against theirs. And, well, her and her husband's word against theirs. But I think it is extremely dismissive to just say, oh, it had to have been a lie, because I don't think personally it's a lie, and I don't think it's so beyond the realm of reason to see why someone might say that, especially considering the culture within our world, not even just in the UK or just in America. There are systems that privilege people who look a certain way. And I could see why that particular incident, why that happened, and why someone felt as though they could say that. So apologies for my laptop, and I'm looking to the side as well. And the next point I want to make, and this is really where I felt conflicted, but at the end of the day, I think Meghan Markle was right to speak up, and I think that it is so essential for all of us when we see instances like this or experience instances like this, for us to speak up. And Russell Brand has a video about this, and he talks about how the whole monarchy in the United Kingdom, how we uphold these systems by believing in them. We uphold these systems and we give them power. And why do we uphold this archaic system that is entirely built on giving privilege to some people for a completely arbitrary reason? Like, you were born into a certain family and all of a sudden you are treated with honor and respect. So rather than being respected for who you are, what you believe, your actions and whatnot, it's because you come from a certain bloodline. And why do we feel this need to protect that and like the honor of that and the class of that and whatever, when it has been exposed to alienate certain types of people and to try to perpetuate certain systems that isolate people of color? And I think for me, I feel conflicted because sometimes I think it's not classy to speak up. Like, you're airing the dirty laundry, and being raised in South Asian culture, it's a big thing to like not like stir the pot, or like I guess people do stir the pot, but you don't want to do anything that will make you or your family have a poor reputation. So even if something's happening or whatever, I think a lot of people feel more comfortable keeping it under wraps. And I think that kind of like touched that part of me that's like, why are you saying that? You know, even though I know it's important. And Michelle Obama kind of surprised me by her reaction. She just kind of said like she's not surprised by the racism, but like almost like she was okay with it. Like, yeah, there's racism. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's there. Like, of course it's there. And it makes sense in light of her political position. And she says like, you know, it's about the people and it's about bringing light. And I think that I get why people are like, oh, Michelle Obama, that was a great response, whatever. And I love Michelle Obama. I'd love her memoir Becoming, but I would have to respectfully disagree. I think you can be for the people and also point out what's wrong. You know, if anything, maybe being for the people means pointing out ways in which there is systemic racism and bringing that to light. And yes, we should see the positive and everything and bring the light out and whatever. But I think that for Meghan Markle, she literally said that she had wanted to kill herself. She was put in such a desperate situation where being the light and being whatever was too hard, you know? And I think there are benefits to times where you can stay within systems and, you know, fight for small things and do whatever. But I know what it's like to be a part of systems that feel very old school and feel out of date, and to feel as though you can't change things or things don't make sense. I grew up in the Indian church. If you're not familiar with that, I have a ton of writing about that. But I know what that's like, and I know how incredibly frustrating it is. And this isn't something that she can turn off. This is her life. This is her child's life. This is the way in which her and her family will live. So I don't think she's wrong for airing what is dirty laundry, because honestly, it should be spoken about. And there are a lot of parallels between what she went through, Meghan Markle and Princess Diana. I will link a Vogue article about it, but the language they use, like, you don't know the knowledge of what's coming ahead. And then Meghan Markle said, I didn't fully understand what was the job ahead. Diana said, I didn't like myself. I was ashamed because I couldn't cope with the pressures. And Meghan Markle says, I just didn't want to be alive anymore. So these two powerful women both couldn't cope with the pressure that was on them from this job. And again, I sometimes feel really conflicted because I wonder, like, should we not be saying certain things? You know, should we be airing this? But I think this was a necessary conversation to have. And in the case of many different problems in society, when we see sexual abuse, when we see abuses of power, when we see racism, I think that there is incredible power when the person who is expected to be silent, the person who is supposed to abide and continue to give power to a certain system, there is so much power when that person says, no, I'm gonna say how I feel, and I'm gonna say why I feel as though this is wrong. So even though I wasn't maybe classy or whatever, I think it was absolutely necessary. And if anything, it shines a brighter light of criticism and makes people look out more for what is happening in the royal house and why is that happening and why is this allowed to happen and why does that system have such an absurd amount of power that literally doesn't make sense. And as a Christian, I feel like this is extremely important too, because I know what it's like to be within the church. And I feel like especially within Indian culture, there are times when like church and culture can kind of mix and give like certain churches or organizations power that they honestly don't deserve. And it's really easy for people to really mix up, you know, this idea. It's like shame, honor culture. So, you know, upholding religious organizations while forgetting your values, like, you know, forgetting the value of being a good person and fighting. Like, you get to a point where the reputation of an organization, the reputation of something becomes more important than the individuals, like the integrity of the people. And I think about this with the Ravi Zacharias scandal, where, you know, they were so afraid of the witness of Christianity being looked down upon, where they kind of hid a scandal that was happening for years. And I think for Meghan Markle, like, I guess, like, some people might say like, oh, that's okay, like compared to that, like it's not as big of a deal, but we still have a responsibility to talk about the things that are not okay in our culture, and to bring light to those really dark places. Those are my thoughts. I think I spoke really fast, but I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. I still get conflicted, but overall I'm just like, you know what? This was good. This was a conversation that we needed to have. And yeah, I'll see your comments. Bye, and I'll see you later on this week. I might do a vlog, might do another commentary. I think I'm gonna do something on QAnon, but I need to research it, understand it more, so I thought I would talk about this because I already had ideas forming in my head. But I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in the comments.